Hello everyone, this is Kamal with you. Hope you are safe and sound. Today's video is about PUTA 5 forces analysis framework. So today I am going to talk about what is PUTA 5 forces analysis framework, and also I will discuss each element of PUTA 5 forces analysis framework in details. Dear viewers, you may already know what is PUTA 5 forces analysis. Alright, PUTA 5 forces analysis is a business model or framework to assess an industry in order to know competitiveness and profitability of this industry. Whether you have an existing business or you are going to open a new business, you must have to know the industry. In this case, PUTA 5 forces analysis is an effective business tool. Let me give you an example. Mr. Uddin, who wants to open a fast food restaurant in Sunderland. Now Mr. Uddin must have to know who are the competitors, how many competitors are there, is there any substitute relative to his business there, who are the buyers and their bargaining power, who are the suppliers and their bargaining power. Before taking any business decision, Mr. Uddin must have to answer all these questions. Dear viewers, you may be thinking why PUTA 5 forces analysis is important. Alright, any company or individual must have to know the competitiveness and the profitability of an industry before taking any business decision and strategy. If competitiveness of an industry is high, then profitability of this industry will be low. On the other hand, if competitiveness of an industry is low, then profitability of this industry will be high. Therefore, it is important to know the competitiveness and profitability of an industry. In this case, PUTA 5 forces analysis is a very effective business tool. Dear viewers, now I am going to talk about each forces of PUTA 5 forces framework respectively. So let's start with bargaining power of supplier. What do you mean by bargaining power of supplier? Bargaining power of suppliers refers to the level of power that suppliers have to influence firms in an industry. In other words, bargaining power of suppliers means the pressure that suppliers can put on companies in an industry. Say for example, suppliers can raise product price or reduce product quality or reduce availability of product to create pressure on companies. Here, low suppliers' bargaining power indicates high profit potentiality and less competition. On the other hand, high bargaining power of supplier indicates less profit potentiality and high competition. Now, a question comes in your mind: how to determine the supplier's power, whether it is high or low? Dear viewers, you have to consider some factors to evaluate supplier's power, which you can see on screen. How many suppliers in the industry? If there are too many suppliers, then the power of supplier will be low. On the other hand, if there is a few suppliers, then the power of supplier will be high. Another example can be switching cost. If switching cost from one supplier to another supplier is expensive, then the supplier power will be high. The size and strength of each supplier's switching cost from one supplier to another supplier's possibility of forward integration by suppliers, availability of supplies for immediate purchase, dependency of suppliers to buyers. Dear viewers, Next topic is bargaining power of buyers. Here, bargaining power of buyer means the level of power that customer and consumer have to influence businesses in an industry. Here, buyers means customer and consumer of businesses that can create pressure over businesses to provide high quality product, better service and lower price. If bargaining power of buyer is high, the industry will be less attractive and less profit potential. Dear students and researchers, you have to consider some factors to determine the bargaining power of buyers. Number of buyers related to firms, dependency of a buyer's purchase on a particular supplier, switching cost, backward integration. Dear viewers, next topic is threat of new entrant. Here, threat of new entrant means the level of threat that new competitors pose to existing player within industry. Dear student and researcher, you have to think about entry barriers. If there are strong entry barriers in an industry, the threat of new entrant will be low in that industry. Consequently, competitiveness of this industry will be low and profit potentiality will be high in that industry. On the other hand, if there are low entry barrier in an industry, threat of new entrant will be high. As a result, competitiveness of this industry will be high and profit potentiality will be low in that industry. Dear viewers, you have to consider some factors to determine the entry barriers of an industry, which you can see on the screen. Government regulations, brand loyalty, cost advantage, high capital requirement, access to supplier and distribution channel, switching cost, barrier to exit. These are the factors which can increase entry barriers in an industry. Dear viewers, next topic is threat of substitute. Here, threat of substitute means the level of risk that a company faces from product and service which belongs to another industry. If threat of substitute is high in an industry, then the profit potentiality of this industry will be low. There are some factors which can increase threat of substitute for an industry, which you can see on the screen. Undifferentiated product, low switching cost, readily available substitute, better feature of substitute, comparatively low price of substitute. Dear viewers, next topic is competitive rivalry. Here, competitive rivalry can be defined as the extent of competition among existing firms in an industry. In short, competitive rivalry among competitors means the intensity of competition in an industry. If competitive rivalry is high in an industry, the profit potential will be low at that industry. There are some factors which can trigger competitive rivalry among competitors in an industry, which you can see on the screen. Many equally balanced competitors, slow industry growth, high fixed or storage cost, low product or service differentiation, low switching cost, high existing barriers. That's end of the video. Stay safe and sound. Thank you for watching.